Hello creeps! Andy here, and boy do I have a video for you today. First of all, I'm dressed in my Freddy Krueger best. So, you know those 3 a.m. Google searches where you're just like, I'm glad nobody can see what I mean, other than, you know, cell phone companies and Google and everyone like that. But I'm glad that the people I know don't know what I'm searching. One night I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I wonder if there's Freddy Krueger fan fiction. And so I Googled it, and there are. A lot of them are questionable at best, as is this one, but even more so than this one. Anyways, then I typed in, well, maybe there's a fun one. You know, like it would be fun if somebody wrote a story about like dating Freddy Krueger, you know, like he like courts someone or something. That'd be funny. So I typed in Freddy Krueger fanfiction. I dated Freddy Krueger. And oh boy, did it not disappoint, but also very much so disappointed. So I started reading it. I have not read all of it, but I was like, I have to share this with you guys because you guys are just as twisted as I am, and I know you're gonna like it just as much as I did. Maybe like isn't the best word, but you know what I mean. This is called I'm Dating Freddy Krueger, and this is by Mr. 5. This was published online in 2010. So it's been a while, but let's see if it holds up. So I'm just gonna read this to you guys. I'll leave a link down below. You guys are, you know, welcome to read the entire thing. I'll not be reading the whole thing. But let's just get into it, okay? It says, Dream 1, Freddy Krueger and new ... victim? John Nates had just turned 18 that day on the 6th hour of the 6th day of the 5th month, since his mother born him prematurely. He had just finished taking out the trash. I'm sorry, I just can't get over it. It's very specific. He had just finished taking out the trash to the curb as he rubbed a newly made bruise on his face. Looking back, he dared not to go back inside quite yet. He had just finished placing the trash bags into the trash can and was sitting on top of it, waiting for the yelling inside to stop. His mother had just finished drinking his dad's beer, and he was pissed. Every time they fought, they got mad, and when they got mad, ... he paid for it. Ever since Dad moved into the slums of Michigan after losing his job, he resolved to live life as a bum of government aid funds, drinking every day and making John's life unbearable. He was forced to drop out of school to help bring in some money by working 4 jobs during the week. That's a lot of work. Poor John. The weekends, he was told to do housework, which he was told he had no say in whatsoever. His money was arranged his mother to be deposited at a joint bank account, which was gone before he had any chance to save just a little. Eventually, John gave up since it was clear, since he wasn't moving out with a single penny to his name, he only hoped that he could get a friend to help him, except ... he had none. However, as he was just soothing himself, he heard a loud scream from inside the house. John, you little shit, get over here right now. John, not going to try his dad's patience, got up from the can, pun intended, and ran to the front door. Opening the screen door, he took off his shoes and walked into the living room carefully, not to step on the broken beer bottles. So some of this is very inappropriate. I'm not gonna read all of it. So just know John's parents are verbally and otherwise abusive to him, okay? But we're not gonna go there. We're gonna talk about the Freddy Krueger part. So here we get a description of John. Then John looked himself over. A nice slim body covered in goth-like black pants, a studded black belt, and a plain black short sleeve shirt. Removing his clothes, leaving only a pair of briefs, he saw himself to be quite attractive, if not desirable. Lying on his bed in the dark of his room, he prayed as he began to sleep that he would get someone to love him that night in his dreams, since reality was not too kind to him. Then it was clear he was dreaming. Taking in a breath, he simply reshaped the world around him. Now he was in his room, lying face up, looking at the ceiling. It was really dark out. Being a little disturbed, he turned on the lamp in his room to see a little in the dark. Lying back, he let the lamp's dim glow give him the ability to lie back and admire his decor around his room. Mainly his posters of various things. Creepy maybe, but he saw solace in their images. So he's like describing things that he saw in his room, and then he says, and a burned guy with a clawed glove wearing a Christmas sweater and a fedora ... Wait a minute. John didn't remember buying that before. He walked over to the poster, running over the poster's face. Somehow he was drawn to the face. His fingers felt around those lips, closing his eyes. Okay, sorry, no commas here. Somehow he was drawn to the face. His fingers felt around those lips, closing his eyes. He let his fantasy work around his mind. As the picture smiled in his eyes, opening wide, the poster made its arms stretch out as the claws quietly stretched out, preparing to cut John to pieces. The face started to emerge next, hoping to catch John by surprise, who thought it was in his mind how the poster was taking on human feelings. Shivering then, which made him compelled to seek the warmth in placing his lips to the poster. Placing the tongue in a sour mouth, he massaged the other in his lip hold. Then, sucking intensely on the other's mouth, he wrapped his arms around the poster's figure, feeling the surprisingly comfy sweater. This is where things get sexual. Taking a firm hold of the figure, still in how own world, he had dragged the other to his bed, letting the figure lie on top of him. And it says, finishing his kiss, he finally released his lip lock, holding the other close to him. John opened his eyes. Looking upwards, he saw the poster had come to life. What's wrong? Didn't like my kiss? Said John, taking his leg and rubbing the other's area. John could see in the other's eyes that he enjoyed it, but after a quick realization, the figure stood up, giving a mean snarl. So he says, how about you get over here and scare my undies off me? The figure widened his eyes in surprise. John knew that he hit the right nerve because there was some consideration in the other's eyes. Rubbing his upper thighs, John moaned, I like guys who are a bit on the supernatural side, who'd be serial killers, monsters, demons, or guys like you. Placing his fingers on the other's burned skin, he felt the bits of dried pus and the smell of scorched flesh and started kissing the other's neck. The other one never experienced a victim like this before. So no wanting to cut up this one, he flung his glove aside and lifted the other's legs in a firm grip. Then with the other hand, he placed his fingers in John's mouth, sucking the iron taste. He savored the taste. Since it didn't really taste bad, it was like liquefied almonds. Okay. The figure, tilting his head back to let his hat fall from his head, looked the other in his blissful eyes. Boy, I go myself a keeper here, he. I never had someone who'd take delight in sucking on my rotting parts before. I'd let you suck on something else, he, said the figure with desire. Like, can you just imagine Freddy Krueger like, he. John, at this point, who liked the situation, decided he wanted to suck. Oh, okay. And Freddy Krueger said, what the fuck are you doing? You messing with me, kid? I honestly find you attractive. Why? Said the grotesque mouth. With someone like you, I desire those eyes. They may be foreboding at first, but they seek out and call to me. And your glove, although lethal, I see an artistic flair in them. This sweater you wear lets me know that you're festive. This is what I'm talking about here. Okay. Please, let me love you. The figure held him. John stopped crying as he was gently lifted and carried over to the bed and placed gently down. Then after the figure spread open John's legs, he pulled off his own pants and half-burned boxers to reveal a slimy green tinged fleshy... Why is it green? Oh, I have so many questions. Which certainly hadn't been spared from the fire. John looked at it in amazement. Yeah, I can't read that. No, can't read that. Also can't read that. Definitely can't read that. John cried, ah, ah, you are fantastic, ah, Yeah, I can't read that either. Looking down, okay, no. John, regaining some of his mind, raised his head and asked, I don't know your name. The figure just smiled, licking his lips, and said, it's Freddy, and I hope you'll scream that name out when I fucking tap that ass of yours. I seriously can't. Oh my gosh, I seriously can't with this. Okay. Licked his own lips and said, sounding like he was in heat, well, Freddy, I'm John, and I would like to be your boyfriend. That made Freddy's eyes widen as he rose his head from the task at hand, then slowly gave a wicked smile. Are you sure? 'Cause once you're mine, you're mine. So please, let me at least have you. The words were so honest and filled with want that Freddy, with a serious face, leaned forward right next to John's forehead and planted a kiss. This is quite romantic. Then, in one quick movement, he placed his mouth to John's. As he penetrated him with his tongue, it felt like a million other tongues were growing and branching off from one another as he felt his entire insides being explored. Oh, that does not sound pleasant. Yeah, I can't read any of this. Then, before everything went silent and dark, he heard Freddy say, remember, you are mine. The end, ... Or is it? ? No, it isn't. It continues. It really says that. Okay, so that was chapter 1 of 6. The best part, I think, are the reviews. This is absolute fucking garbage right here. This clearly isn't Freddy. It's Freddy Krueger. That's funny. His loser twin brother who constantly poses as him and spends more time being a little bitch than killing. Freddy Krueger, a sensitive guy. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Oh wait, you're being serious? Let me laugh harder. Ha ha, ha ha, ha 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 ha. I like it. Freddy, I like him seriously, but it's kind of a lovey-dovey. You should make Freddy push John on the bed and yay, just make him forceful. LOL, aggressive. I don't know how people can like it. It's actually so disturbing and it seriously grossed me out, and I only read chapter 1. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. So the story is all fucked up, and so is anyone who likes it. And WTF is up with his at the end. God, that just intrigued me more. Am I gonna have to read this whole thing? Oh my god, yay! And then the last one just says, poor Freddy. So that is chapter 1. I know I couldn't really read much of it because it does definitely turn into an erotic fan fiction, but I just had to bring this to your attention. You just need to know that this exists in the world. Like I said, I'll leave it linked down below, and if you want to read all 6 chapters, good on you, because I definitely could not. But now I'm very curious what happens at the end. Maybe we just skip to chapter 6. No one's gonna mind, right? Well, after that, Freddy and John settled down and just satisfied themselves to slaughtering the kids of Elm Street to fit with Freddy's motive. However, I write for myself when I state that I hope this nightmare never ends, and of course it never did. The end, ... question mark? Or is it? Question mark. What do you guys think of this Freddy Krueger fan fiction? Are you a fan of it? Was it too disturbing for you? I know I left out like the bad parts, but yeah, it's actually pretty gnarly. I apologize, but I had to share it with you. And I will see you soon with another horror video. Bye guys. Okay, we're gonna have nightmares again tonight because that was quite disturbing.